So, have you ever actually wondered what IT really means? You hear it all the time, right? Or what all those people in tech actually do all day? Well, if you're even a little curious about a career in technology but have no idea where to even begin, you have come to the perfect place. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down the entire IT field piece by piece.
But before we dive into all the technical stuff, I want to start with this. This quote is from Grace Hopper, a true pioneer in computing, and it's from a time when women were actually the main players in programming. It's just a fantastic reminder that tech has always been for everyone, and it kind of flips our modern ideas about it right on their head.
All right, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with a super simple definition of IT, then we'll look at the basic building blocks. After that, we're going to explore the four main career paths, bust a huge myth about who can work in tech, and finally, lay out the first few steps you can take on your own journey.
So, first things first, what is information technology? I can tell you it's a whole lot more than just fixing your uncle's printer. Honestly, a better way to think about it is as the invisible architecture that supports almost everything we do in modern life, like ordering a pizza or finding your way across town.
Okay, at its very core, IT is just using technology to manage digital information. The whole thing really boils down to these four actions. You've got storing info, like your photos in the cloud, processing it, like when a spreadsheet adds everything up for you, securing it from anyone who shouldn't see it, and transferring it, which is exactly what happens when you send an email.
And believe me, this stuff touches our lives in more ways than we can count. I mean, let's take Anthony here, who's about to get his learner's permit. The online course he took, the test he passed on a computer, and the giant DMV database that now holds his record, that whole entire process is powered by IT.
So how does all of that actually work? Well, it really just comes down to two main ideas. Hardware, that's the physical stuff you can actually touch, like your phone or your keyboard, and software, which is all the invisible instructions telling the hardware what to do.
Now let's look at two of the most critical pieces of hardware out there. On the left, we have a CPU, the central processing unit, and on the right, a GPU, the graphics processing unit. You can kind of think of them both as the brains of a computer, but they are built for totally different kinds of thinking.
Here's a really easy way to get the difference. A CPU is like a master chef, you know? It's really good at handling a few very complicated steps, one after the other. A GPU, on the other hand, is like a massive team of prep cooks, all chopping carrots at the exact same time. That ability to do thousands of simple things at once is why GPUs are absolutely essential for stuff like video games and AI.
Okay, now that we've got the basics down, let's talk about where people actually work. You can really break the entire IT field down into four main pillars. These are the big career areas that build and maintain the digital world we all live in.
First up, we have pillar number one, software and web development. The easiest way to think about these folks is as the builders. They're the ones writing the code that creates the apps on your phone, the websites you browse, and all the software you use. It's a field that's all about creating things. And inside this pillar, you have some really specific jobs. A front-end developer, for example, builds the part of a website you actually see and click on. A back-end developer works on all the behind-the-scenes stuff, like the servers and databases. And a full-stack developer, they're kind of like a jack-of-all-trades who can do both.
Moving on to pillar number two, IT infrastructure and networking. So if developers are the builders, then these professionals are the architects and the city planners. They're the ones who design and take care of the digital highways, the servers, the cloud, and all the networks that let information get from point A to point B.
Some of the big jobs here include network engineers, who literally design the networks that connect the entire world. You've got system administrators who make sure servers are up and running 24/7, and cloud engineers who manage those gigantic data centers run by companies like Amazon and Google.
All right, pillar number three is one I guarantee you've heard of, cybersecurity. These folks are the guardians of our digital world. Seriously, their entire job is to protect all of our data and systems from hackers and other online threats. It's a constant, high-stakes game of cat and mouse.
And the jobs here are just fascinating. You have security analysts who are constantly monitoring for threats, and then you have ethical hackers, sometimes called penetration testers. And yeah, you heard that right, they are literally paid to try and break into computer systems to find the weak spots before the bad guys do. How cool is that? But why is cybersecurity such a massive deal today? Well, it didn't just happen overnight. Back in the early days, security wasn't really a priority. But then Windows 95 came along and connected millions of homes to the internet, many without any real protection. Then, a few big corporate scandals led to new laws about protecting data.
And finally, huge hacks like the one on Sony PlayStation in 2011 made the threat feel very real for millions of us.
Our fourth and final pillar is all about data and databases. You've probably heard the phrase, data is the new oil. Well, these are the people who find it, refine it, and put it to use. They're like digital librarians and scientists who build systems to store unbelievable amounts of information and then dig through it to find little nuggets of wisdom that can drive huge business decisions.
In this pillar, you'll find database administrators who keep all that data safe and sound, data analysts who look for trends and patterns, and data scientists who use that data to build really complex models that can actually predict the future.
Okay, so we've covered the what of IT, but I really want to talk about the who. Because there's this myth that you have to be some kind of lone wolf genius typing in a dark room to work in tech. And it's just time to put that idea to bed.
The honest truth is that the IT field is wide open to people from every background imaginable. It really doesn't matter if you have a degree in something totally unrelated or if you're looking to switch careers after 20 years. The door is open for you.
And this is so important to remember. While a formal degree can definitely help, it is not the only way in. What really, truly matters in this industry are your practical skills, your dedication to practicing them, and the consistency to just keep learning, because this field is always changing.
Which brings us to our last section. We've broken it all down, so now let's turn all this knowledge into action. Let's talk about the exact steps you can take to start your own journey, maybe even today.
Here's a simple 5-step plan. First, just pick one of those 4 pillars that actually sounds cool to you. Don't try to learn everything at once. Second, just focus on learning the absolute basics of that one field. Third, you have to practice every day to build that muscle memory. Fourth, start building small projects. This is where it all starts to click. And finally, start applying for internships or entry-level jobs to get some real experience.
So we'll leave you with this one thought. The future is being built right now with technology. The only question left is, what part of it are you going to build?